I'm wearing an apron because I just did dishes, so you know what I'm cooking, so just bear with me in appearance here. So today I watched three documentaries for TCM's 31 Days of Oscar. The first one was 1956's On the Bowery, directed by Lionel Rogosin. He was inspired by the work of Robert Flatterly, who did Man Who Cut the North, as well as Italian neorealism, to tell a story based in New York's Bowery. He stayed there for many months and befriended one of the film's stars, Gorham Hendricks, who died before the film was released. The other film's star, Ray Saylor, was actually offered a Hollywood contract after the film. He's quite a looker, but turned it down and mostly lived on the Bowery for the rest of his life, dying several years after this film was released. It is about a little over an hour long. It's released by Milestone Films, so you can get it on DVD. And it is a wonderful look at New York Skid Row, known as the Bowery. Basically, how men end up on there, why they end up using all their money for alcohol, how it's hard to get back on your feet again. It takes a very uncompromising look at this situation in a very docudrama kind of way. It is never preachy, it is never sentimental, and it is never judgmental of these people. It's just very much here's their lives, here's where they're at. It was nominated for the Oscar for Best Documentary, though it did not win. The next film I watched was 1953's The Sea Around Us, directed by Irwin Allen, and you can really see, especially at the beginning, how it affected his later films and how he became the director that he became. It's based on a book by Rachel Carson, who also wrote The Silent Spring, and it is very much a mid-century look at the oceans. Really fun micro animal, moments, and then things like rockfish and sea anemones and jokester porpoises. That did you know they're not fish, they're mammals? Because apparently in 1953 they didn't know that. As well as at one point where a shark fights an octopus that was really amazing. It's a beautiful Technicolor film. Definitely check it out if you can find it. It's about an hour long. And the last one I watched was an 18-minute documentary from John Ford called The Battle of Midway from 1942. He made it. He was on his way to make a film about just the naval base on Midway Island when the attack happened, and he filmed that instead. He also shot some of Roosevelt's relatives in order to make sure the film did not get censored. It was edited by Robert Parrish, and it is a bit propaganda-esque with narration from Donald Crisp, Henry Fonda, and Jane Darwell to really make you sell it that these good old boys are here fighting this war and we have to buck up and keep going. But that's the kind of doc you're going to get during a war, So beautiful Technicolor cinematography. Should definitely check it out if you get a chance. I think it's on DVD. But all three of these films right now are on Watch TCM. So if you get a chance, check them out. It's an interesting way to see where documentary cinema started, where it was in the mid-century, and compare it to where we're at with documentary cinema in 2018.